Township Trustee meeting March 4th, 2024. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Shepard?
Yes.
Mr. Santos?
Here.
Mrs. Davis? Here.
Let's start with introductions. Off to my right, I have my zoning inspector, Darren Cavelli. I have my police chief, Mr. Gavalier, fire chief, Mr. Frost. Jessica is standing in for our senior center. Todd Schaefer, who is with our parks department, is actually sick at the moment, so I hope he is well and gets better quickly. To my left, I have fiscal officer, Lori Wolf. I have our administrator over here to my right, Mr. Dapolito, and then trustee Bruce Shepis, trustee Monica Devers, and I'm trustee Robert Santos. I have a motion to approve the minutes of the regular meeting of December 11th, 2023, January 8th of 2024, February 5th of 2024, and a special meeting of December 18th, 2023, and a special meetings of December 30th, 2023.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Santos?
Yes.
Mrs. Davis? Yes. Mr. Shepard?
Yes.
All right, and now we have to open up the floor for public comments. Every individual will have 3 minutes if they wish to speak. Is there anyone that would like to speak on camera?
Roberts.
Yes.
Excuse me one second.
Right.
I'd like to, after the last meeting last month, a few residents, I see a couple of you here in the crowd tonight, and a few that aren't. They reached out to me and asked, why did we move the speaking to the public on and off camera prior to the meeting? Well, it's a great question. And the answer to that is this. 2 reasons. One, we have the small groups, just say Boy Scouts or whatever. They want to do a presentation or talk about their fundraiser or whatever. That's fantastic, and we appreciate them. But it also gives them the opportunity to leave before we go on with our hour meeting or so. So they don't feel obligated to stay. That's one reason. The second reason is, as you see on the agenda, there's issues that we're going to be voting on. And you know, I'm going to use Mr. Butis as an example. Mr. Butis may have a very good point on why I may have to vote yes or no on that issue. Well, if he comes to speak at the end of the meeting, I've already voted. The decision's been made. There's no changing at that point. However, Mr. Butis may have a very good point, and I'm more than willing to listen. We all are. So please address those issues in this agenda, and maybe or maybe not, you'll influence our vote. So I hope that clarifies
No,
why we did it.
because it didn't make no sense last time I did. We had a meeting, we were gonna close the
Well, I'll tell you what, we'll give you the opportunity to speak, so let's go forward to public comment.
the bar down at the end of the hall, for you guys to wait till some white people or black people shoot each other.
Excuse me?
You don't know where it's
Hey,
at.
everybody, you got the podium? Can I have you step up to the podium, state your name and address if you're going to speak, sir?
Al, go talk to me. I wasted my time here before, I still gotta put up with people.
No, it's not saying nothing.
Al, you're not gonna say nothing?
Not right now, Frank.
You're gonna say something later. It's all wasting time, you did this.
Hi, is there anyone that would like to speak on camera? If you can please come up to the podium, state your name and address.
Dale Goss, 115 Marcia. Does the township have a contingency plan in place for the illegal immigration problems that we're experiencing?
We actually do, we actually discussed this. You actually brought it up to me, I think, I'm not sure if you brought it up to them too, but I actually discussed it with our administrator, Mr. Dapolito.
We wouldn't be the primary responsible party for something like that. It would be the Mahoning County EMA that we would notify. They have access to shelter and food and emergency supplies that would decide how and when and if they were.
Are you aware of the article in the Youngstown Business Journal where they brought in 175 of them in our finding jobs for them, housing them and stuff at our dime? 2023 and 2022. There was a big article, I don't know if you guys have read it yet or not, which a lot of people didn't realize was going on through they've created groups with all the empty lots we have, like in the plaza now that JCPenney's gone in at. These NGOs, these private companies are coming in and buying property and then bringing the illegals in and housing them.
So what you're saying is that we would have to defer them, obviously, to their immigration. I can tell you right now, personally, I can speak for myself only. I'm like, if you're here in Austintown illegally, we're not a sanctuary town. They can go somewhere else and actually cause problems. I do not want those damn problems here in Austintown. That's just my personal and my own opinion.
Right. Well, Texas just got okay to arrest them. I talked to the sheriff, Sheriff Green. I don't know if the police chief can, if they commit a crime, then they can be arrested. But if they don't commit a crime, there's nothing they can do to them. So I don't know, can you elaborate on that? If your officer comes across them,
If they commit a crime, yes, we'll arrest them.
If
Just like anybody else, or we'll arrest them and that, and try to put them downtown in jail. And to be honest with you, at times we've stopped immigrants along the interstate, stuff called,
ICE.
ICE or something, and sometimes they won't even come for them.
So then what happens to them? They get released back out on the street like what's happening in New York, Chicago, and Pittsburgh?
They go to the rescue mission.
Yeah. Okay, I just wanted to see if you guys had a plan in place for it because they're here.
Yes, sir.
Eugene Connors, 5116 Northwest Boulevard. I'm going to kind of follow up with Dale there because I was going to speak about this too. It's a national, even on the fake news, the national news will tell you that immigration, this illegal immigration or newcomers coming in by the tens of millions is on every citizen's mind. And if we're not ready in this community, we've got the State of the Union coming up, that's going to be a joke. What's the State of the Union here? What do we look forward to? Is this going to be, we're going to have to take our share and something's going to happen. That's all I'm going to say. We're not ready with something. If our facilities aren't ready, some way to handle them or do something with them, because it looks like they're not getting handled very well when they can go out and beat up police and rape women, murder women, rob. I heard a story about how they're going and knocking on doors and asking for spare dinero. I mean, and that's just the ones from South America. They're here from all countries, 180 some countries, I think. And they've been let in by a bunch of stupid people in the federal government. And they're killing our country. And if at the local level, we gotta have some kind of defense. That's all I'm gonna say.
Anyone else on camera?
Sam Swagger, 4492 Mile Road. I got a couple issues, and I only have one until I heard these two guys speak. But there's not no tens of millions and millions of people coming across the border. You watch Fox News too much. So, as far as the fireworks coming up, I really appreciate Mr. Davis going ahead and trying to find a place for them up here on 46. If we can get it approved, I really do. He's done a fine job, and I'd like to thank him for doing that, and I'd like to thank Mrs. Devers for what she's done with the park, with the swing sets and stuff like that. And as far as other people taking the credit for these things, I think you just got to get out and start doing your own job instead of taking credit for something you're not doing. But I think they'll do a fine job. And I hope it goes over well, we get the clearance for it. And all this other scare about immigrants, well, I'm not for illegal immigrants, but I'll tell you what, everybody in here is an immigrant. So you go back and tell your family.
All right,
I'm for legal immigration.
The board,
No
or sit down.
problem. Okay, all of you are immigrants. There you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Legal.
Anyone else on camera? Anyone off camera?
But I think it was a couple weeks ago, we were notified by Adult Rural Authority that one of the subjects that was reporting to one of the officers told him about a party at Zodiac down there, and we went on the internet, was able to find it. And like he said, they discreetly try to advertise on the internet. Sometimes you have to be a member to get onto the site to see it. And it's not as much, it's Zodiac, but with the guy that's running it or leasing it, leases it again, rents it out to people to have parties down there. And we were aware of it, and there were some characters going down there that Youngstown was looking for. And that night, anytime there's an issue or a party down there, we have us, State Patrol, the Sheriff's Department, Youngstown, we all get together. And that particular night, we have overtime, we have 4 extra officers coming out, but we towed some cars down there, parked in the middle of the street. We made a couple arrests for fighting down there in the parking lot. And right now, over the years, about a year, 2, 3 years ago, me and Andy Darren went down there and talked to the guy that's leasing the place, told him the issues and stuff. Right now, we do not have enough to shut them down. I know it's an ongoing problem. I talked to Mark, me and Mark had a conversation a couple weeks ago about this last party. We're gonna close off the streets, the side streets, so they couldn't go up and park in any of the neighborhoods there. So we're aware of the problem. Me and Darren's gonna talk to the person that owns the building. Last time we talked to him when there was supposed to be a swim party, put an end to that. So we're hoping to talk to him again, that he puts an end to these people leasing it out to have these parties down there.
Yeah, and this is before all 3 of you, I think you were on the zoning commission.
Yes.
If my memory serves me right, I think COVID was 2020. Okay, so that would have been November of 2019 or December. I had a hearing before the Board of Appeals to revoke their conditional use permit to operate a bar/nightclub. They didn't show up. Ken Cardinal from the prosecutor's office was here. A few of these people, that gentleman testified. And anyways, the Board of Appeals, by a 5-0 vote, revoked their conditional use permit based on issues presented by the PD and residents. And the big thing back then was, I think somebody had possession of a weapon down in the basement or something similar to that. The owner, whose name I can't think of right now because I'm old, but the owner then filed an appeal, which was his right to do. And a magistrate, without giving the township a hearing, reversed that decision. So that takes us to January of 2020, and that's when things started to slow down, and then eventually businesses were forced to close, and they were closed pretty much for a couple of years. And as the chief mentioned, we were there a couple of times, but I was there once with his officers. Without him, I think it may have been New Year's Eve of 22, because we were getting complaints that they had converted the basement into little, like, rooms. And I've got pictures of that. And we shut that down, and you know, I don't remember where that was in relation to the 3 of us meeting with him. But if there's if there's arrest and there's lawlessness going on there, once we have a document, I'll come right back before the board. And the board already acted once, but I don't know that we really got our due process as a township. But once again, COVID came and everything, this kind of established that everything shut down. most of the restaurants shut down. So then it kind of was off our radar. And it appears like Chief Cavalier says, they're not there every weekend, they just seem to have events. But that place is still, that conditional use permit is still in the name of who the gentleman is that we issued it to. Like I said, I just can't think of his name.
Is there somewhere else we can find out when they're having these events besides Facebook?
We find them out through social media. The one that I met, Lieutenant.
Because I was last time we stopped at a soap party, that was the water pool party.
Yeah, if you recall, that was over the summer, and then we kind of adjusted our ordinance based on that. But I know Lieutenant Delmont, I met her down there with police officers, and that's when we were in there, and they were basically advertising for prostitution. That's what they were doing. And we seemed to shut that down. And then, like I said, there's been a few other events there. But, so anyway, the township, I think, is being as proactive as we can.
Like I said, instead of talking to the guy that's leasing the place out, we're gonna go to the owner, the person that owns the building, and see if we can have him shut it down, quit leasing it out. That's what we're gonna end up doing. Because just like you said, we were worried last time, are we gonna have a shooting down there because of the characters that are coming to that place, so. I mean,
Did you ever
we're
go
all-
down there?
What's that?
You ever go down there and see the sign right on their door? No hoodies, no bags,
Oh, great.
huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, you've seen it.
Oh,
And it's just still going on.
yeah, this time they had, I'm sorry.
Frank Buksevich, I live right in the first corner.
This time they had security outside that couldn't do nothing, and then they tried to hire the sheriff's department or our department to go down there and work, and we don't work bars, sheriff department doesn't work bars because of the issues and stuff, but, I mean, we're trying, like Darren said, we did it, we shut it down, and the judge overturned us and opened it right back up, so, magistrate.
The swim party came up, and I just want to address one thing about the swim party that they were trying to have. The township owes a thank you to the Mahoning County Health Department, to the building department, to a number of other county agencies, the sheriff's office, because it was really a joint effort to shut it down proactively. Police have a lot of powers to respond to things and show up when they're called. It's very difficult in America to shut things down ahead of time, but that swim party was a true group effort over a holiday weekend to bring some agencies together and convince the owner that was not a smart idea to try and put a pool in that building. So, to summarize, everybody's on top of that building. It's on everybody's radar. Unfortunately, no one has the exact toolkit to revoke their licenses today.
I have something to say about that, all of that. I know the police department has.
Can I get your name and address,
Elaine
please?
Buksevich, I'm with him on Huntmere. I'm at the first house past the Union Hall there. And I know the police are there because when they're having their parties, there's 4 or 5 police cars in the parking lot at the Union Hall. And usually their parties start at midnight or thereabouts. Like I'll look out the window and there'll be a ton of cars pulling in all of a sudden, all at once. Now, I get up at 5:36 in the morning and take my dog outside. And their parties are just ending. They're just starting to pull out of the parking lot at that time. And it's not very often that it's on a weekend. It's during the week. And it's at least 3 days a week that I know of. And it's because at night I go in the kitchen and I get a pill and I look out my window, the kitchen window, and that's when it all is. It's all over there. And it's loud music going on. Boom, 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 boom. Now, when this first happened in 19, or whenever we had our last meeting, the Union Hall was full of cars. My street, which has a no parking sign on it, it's on First Street, and it was all full. They were parking halfway up into my yard. We settled that issue. But it's still going on. It's like they have these parties late at night into the early morning, 6 o'clock in the morning. Why are you at 2 o'clock in the morning, or 2 on a Tuesday? Why are you having a party and then everybody's there till 6 in the morning? It's crazy, and it's loud. There's a lot going on there. And I don't hear it, so much, but I know somebody that was here last time for the meeting said that, they can hardly sleep at night for all the music going on. It's not, it's not acceptable time, 10 o'clock till 2 o'clock, like the bars are open, not 6 in the morning.
We appreciate you guys bringing this up. We're definitely going to discuss this and be more attentive to the situations, and we'll definitely make sure these guys aren't violating any laws or regulations. If they are, we'll definitely.
Do you know they also have buses? And the buses, they must be parking people somewhere else, and the buses bring them in.
That's why we stopped the
That's
parking on the
buses sit
street.
there all the time, they're there
That's that.
constantly.
We'll definitely make sure we keep it on our radar even more so now lately that summer's coming up. So, thank you. Is there anyone else off camera that would like to speak? Yes, sir.
No, I'll be honest, I was focused on managing the new, trying to get the agenda up there, so I was looking up, I'm like, do I need to scroll down, do I need to bring up the next
I love it.
slide?
It's a good
So I
idea.
apologize. On the administrator side, we've moved forward with a few things that you've approved at past meetings this last month here. The bulk of the work has been on the road department side, where we are prepared to award the resurfacing contract tonight to Lindy Paving. We've got a very favorable paving bid, so we look forward to getting into that project and maybe even expanding, our limits in some places because the bid was very favorable. That was due to an early bid, I think, and a cycle of the cost of petroleum products. So we're very pleased with that and excited to move that project forward. Sorry, I kind of blended road and administrator.
I have a motion to award a 2023 resurfacing bid to Lincoln Paving Incorporated at the best and lowest bid for the approximate total of $818,100 paving plan 2.55 SY, track code $2.75 a gallon, and asphalt at 200 CY.
So moved.
Second.
Mrs. Devers? Yes. Mr. Shepherd?
Yes.
Mr. Santos?
Yes. Mr. Cavalier, Police Department.
I have nothing to add tonight.
Thank you. Fire Chief, Mr.
No, nothing really to add. For some reason, call volume was skyrocketing over the last week, 29, 32 calls a day, which is just almost doubling what we want around. So I have no idea what's going on. All's going well, and I really have nothing.
This is summer kicking in.
Yeah.
Were those medical calls, 911 calls?
Everything.
Everything.
Yeah, it's just weird. So, cool. We'll see what happens.
All right. Thank you, sir. Anyone have anything from Chiefs?
Thank you.
All right. Roman, Valley.
I just asked the board to approve a nuisance resolution under Ohio Revised Code 5587 for the couple of different properties we have.
Just two this week, slowly come. That's actually good. I prefer to see nothing on here than I don't do anything. All right. So motion to approve the zoning report for number 1.
Second. Mr. Shepherd?
Yes.
Mr. Santos?
Yes.
Mrs. Devers? Yes.
And then I've asked the board to approve a nuisance resolution under Ohio Code 55.871
for the vehicle as listed.
So moved.
I'll second.
Mr. Santos?
Yes.
Mrs. Devers?
Yes.
Mr. Shepherd?
Yes.
Why don't we get to hear the list?
What's that?
Why don't we get to hear the list of properties and vehicles?
Just trying to, sometimes I have like a lot and they tell me just, let's move the meeting on.
We don't have to specify each
You can look at
But they
it.
are public record. They was allowed to have the opportunity to see
I don't
it.
have them there.
If you wanted to.
Usually reads in most of the towns.
Yeah, they say I take up too much time.
I'd be glad to get your copy, Mr. Richardson.
Yeah.
I have an extra copy.
You want to go over the parks? This Todd's not here.
Sure, I can make mention that we got the playground equipment ordered that'll be funded by the capital budget program that the trustees worked very hard to secure. Trustee Santos was instrumental in reaching out to some of the elected officials that control the capital budget process. And they've all been very supportive of what has been a lengthy road to get to this point with our first capital budget, award in several years. So we're thankful for that, and I'm excited to see the playground get installed. We spent Friday on the phone with the vendor picking colors and getting it all squared away. So that was a fun day for me. I enjoyed seeing the improvements that are to come.
Thank you. Jessica with the Senior Center.
Our spring newsletter went out, so we've been having like non-stop tours of people that receive the newsletter and they're coming in to become members of the center. So we've been giving tons of tours. They're very interested in our bocce court. We've got an indoor bocce court that they can play bocce on Mondays. So we're getting a lot of people coming in interested in that. And then our trips for the upcoming year came out. So we've got a lot of seniors planning around our trips. It's posted on our website, on Facebook, and then we've got it posted at the center so that the seniors can kind of plan ahead for some of the trips. A lot of good ones coming up here. And we've got 3 activities that are kind of coming up. We're having a St. Patrick's Day potluck party on March 14th. So the seniors have already started signing up to bring in their potluck and food and wear greens and kind of have a party for that. We're also having a Healthier at Home class sponsored by Mercy Health coming in March 26th. So it's a 2-hour class. She's going to be talking about ways to stay healthier through like diet and exercise and all that at home. So that should be an interesting class that we haven't had before. And we're going to have a solar eclipse party on April 8th. So I'm starting to plan out the menu of having like all kinds of like sun and moon themed food items. And I got a bunch of solar glasses so that the seniors can stand in our parking lot and look at the eclipse and kind of have a party out of it. So that should be fun. And the Ohio Association of Senior Centers, their annual conference is this coming week. So me and Linda are leaving on Wednesday to go to that. And I always get a lot of new information and a lot of new classes coming out of that, so I'm excited to go to that every year.
Thank you. All right, moving on to our fiscal officer, Lori Wolf.
Okay, I want to let you know that I did get the year closed out. Everything went well, it went smooth. The financial reports are loaded to the state of Ohio. I don't know if they've been published yet, but I have to look at that. And later on in new business, I went and prepared the permanent appropriations for this year. And those are just based on last year's expenses. Some of them, the less popular funds, are just based on money that's currently in there. I don't expect to get any new money in there. And then the bigger funds were based on what was spent last year, along with any big projects they had planned for this year. We kind of talked about them, and so that's in there for the expenses. So when you get to the appropriations, those are laid out by fund.
Thank you. Okay, I have a motion to accept January's report submitted to the board for review A through E.
So moved.
Second.
Mrs. Devers? Yes. Mr. Shepherd?
Yes.
Mr. Santos.
Yes. Okay, and I also have a motion to accept the zoning inventory for 2023.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Shepherd?
Yes.
Mr. Santos?
Yes.
Mrs. Deaver?
Yes.
All right, new business, so I'm gonna have a motion to approve the advances from the general fund to $225,000 to fire, $15,000 to park. I have a question actually on this, once we go through it all. $3,500 to motor vehicle license, $90,000 to police, $5,000 to maintenance, $40,000 to communications, $5,000 to motor vehicle license, and $15,000 to maintenance.
Okay.
But the question is, I wasn't too sure if this was to error or not, but you have motor vehicle license here twice.
No, they probably, at the beginning of the month needed some, and then later on in the month needed some more. But that should all be evening out now, because we started to get advances on the real estate money.
And just to reiterate, that when we talked about this quite a bit, just for the audience who doesn't know, these are just advances until the auditor actually gives us the funds from the tax collection. This is just advances in the general fund to fund these departments so we actually can function. Then once the money comes in, we pay the general fund back.
Yep, just temporary movement.
So moved.
Second. Mr. Santos?
Yes.
Mrs. Deaver?
Yes.
Mr. Shepherd?
Yes.
All right, and I have a motion to appoint 2 candidates in Mahoney County's Tax Incentive Review Council to attend the annual meeting that's going to be held Thursday, March 14th at 2 p.m. in the Commissioner's hearing room, lower level in the County Courthouse, 120 Market Street, Youngstown, Ohio, 44503. I'd like to motion to nominate both Bruce Shepherd and Monica. I attended the last couple of years, and I think it's good to round
It is
out.
good for, to take turns.
Yep, I accept. Yes.
Yes.
Who made the motion? Robert?
Yeah.
I'll second it.
Mr. Shepherd?
Yes.
Mr. Santos?
Yes.
Mrs. Deaver?
Yes.
And I have a motion to consider the request from AGE for an $18,000 contribution from the township for their 2024 Austintown July 4th celebration being held here in Austintown.
So moved.
Second.
Mrs. Deaver?
Yes.
Mr. Santos?
Yes.
Mr. Shepherd?
Yes.
And I have a motion to approve the 2024 permanent appropriations as noted.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Santos?
Yes.
Mr. Shepherd?
Yes.
Mrs. Deaver?
Yes.
All right, and then move on to remarks from the board. The, Shepherd, do you have anything?
Yeah, I'd like to mention, and I don't know if you guys plan on it too as well, but a few weeks ago, it was my first time attending the Ohio Township Association Expo and training in Columbus, Ohio. I was fortunate enough to spend a few days down there with my 2 colleagues, and a couple of us went to the State House to lobby for Austintown and meet our state representatives, which we have a good rapport with anyway. And a few of us took some great classes, educating ourselves on what could be coming here in the future and how to prepare for some of those issues. And I thought it was fantastic. The expo was pretty exciting. I know Mr. Dapolito is going to come down next year with us. There's a lot of like cold patch and paving, trucks, stuff like that I believe he'd be more familiar with as far as pricing. I know he's excited about coming along with us next year. So big shout out to them, and I really appreciated the training. That's all. Oh, one more thing. You may or may not see it in the Vindicator tomorrow, but Chief Cavalier, I'd like to thank APD and along with OSP. And even though most of you know I'm not a social media person, I'd like to thank all of our friends and followers of Austintown Bounce, the police, I forget what the name of it, the police social media site. And I was a victim of theft. And thanks to social media and APD and OSP, they recovered our box trailer and had it returned within 2 days. So thank you to everybody. Chief, appreciate that.
Hi, I want to congratulate the Austintown Fitch cheerleader competition team. They won 2024 state champs. The Falcon beat 6 other teams. Congratulations to them. Our Easter egg hunt is going on the end of this month. That's March 24th. It's Palm Sunday, 1 to 3. Hoping that everybody will be done with church and then come over and see us. We had 5,000 eggs donated from Austintown PTA Association. And then we'll have 2,000 more. So we should have close to 7,000 eggs donated. We'll also have a mini animal farm there so the kids can play with some animals and ride a pony. And also face painting will be there. So last year we had the eggs and I think we had 6,000. I'm going to try to get it to 7 this year, and within 6,000 eggs I think we're running with less than 5 minutes. So there's other things, there's other things for the kids to do there, and then I'm suggesting if it's muddy that everybody bring their little kids in their rubber boots because we did move it. The one year it was down towards the baseball fields, it was pretty muddy. So then the following year we've moved it up by the Stacy Pavilion, and we'll have it again by the Stacy Pavilion this year. This is one thing when Robert and I were in running that we wanted to have more family-oriented things out at our park and for you to enjoy our park and let everybody know that we have a beautiful park. So that's one thing that Robert and I have been working very hard to let the community know that we have that. And I guess that's all I have to say. I wish everybody a happy Easter because our next meeting will be after Easter. So I wish everybody a happy Easter and enjoy your family. Thank you. I didn't say St. Patrick's Day, sorry. You can do that part. Go ahead.
No, it's cool. I want to make a point, if you guys don't have tickets for this Saturday, there's actually an outstanding event. It's the Taste of Austintown. If you love food, if you don't have a ticket, try to find someone, there might be a scalper somewhere. There's a lady right behind me there. It's called Ruby Madison.
Totally.
She's the one that can find some tickets for you. It's a great event. I judged it last year. It was outstanding. I definitely enjoyed it. I know Trustee Shepherd is going to be judging this year. Trustee Beavers can't because she is actually a participant. So make sure you go there and vote for her for, Most Like Home?
Home cooking.
Most Like Home Cooking. It is. Yeah, good food. So if you guys don't have tickets, try to do your best to get out there. It's definitely a good event. I know Mr. Dapolito already touched on the playground. That's all underway. What I want to do is just go ahead and give a shout out to our representatives. Al Petrona, who's our state representative, and State Senator Michael Rowley. They've been very vital to the success, to this capital budget funding. They came down, I think Al came down 3-4 times. I went and talked to him in Columbus a couple times. Even Senator Rowley came in. We talked about details of what we can apply for, what qualifies for the capital budget funds. Obviously, we would love to get as much money as we can, but there's certain criteria that must be met for us to get this funding. So I'm actually extremely grateful for their participation and their assistance in getting this done, and we'll definitely be applying for every single penny we can to help offset some of the taxpayer dollars that are being used for these items here in Austintown. So I definitely just want to give them appreciation for that. Other than that, I just want to reiterate, and I completely understand how people have a difference of opinions, but please respect people's opinions when you're here and you're discussing anything at the podium, and address all comments to the board. I want to make sure individuals are here, they feel safe in actually voicing their opinion without having to be a feel of recourse. Me personally, I didn't serve in Marine Corps for 11 years to fight for your freedom, to have your opinion, to have it belittled, especially in this building, your building. So other than that, that's all I gotta say. Thank you for your time. All right, with that, I'm gonna motion to recess to executive session for personnel matters.
Second.
Mr. Shepherd?
Yes.
Mr. Sanchez?
Yes.
Mrs. Beaver?
Yes.